Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining our webinar today. As you can guess from the title, today we're going to be looking at where mobile sits within the customer experience, how this is evolving and what you need to do about it. So quickly before I begin, a little bit about myself. So my name's Emma, I'm the marketing manager at Sonin. I've had a mix of client-side and agency roles, and in all of which my main focus has been on digital interactions through both web and mobile. If you have any specific questions that I don't cover today, then please get in touch at the end where I'll pass over my contact details. So in today's discussion, we're going to talk through a couple of things. We're going to start looking at the changes in mobile interactions, how apps have evolved, what makes a valuable mobile experience, talk a little bit about the post-app era and what that means, look at how mobile fits into the customer journey, how technology is an enabler to expand on these experiences, and how you should approach mobile and what you need to do over the coming months. So, in today's world, most of us would be lost without our mobile phones. We're just one click away from convenience, and some of us may go as far to say that we couldn't live without our smartphones. In fact, when I start to think of a mobile-less world, it's not too dissimilar to this screenshot of Apple's Apocalypse video, showing just how crazy the world could be without apps on our phones. And in some sense, mobile has become our gateway to the world and to the internet. It's become our default camera and our primary music player. We go there to shop, to manage our online banking, and to communicate with friends and businesses wherever they are in the world. And although once regarded as a second screen, mobile is quickly becoming the first screen for many of us, especially as we're seeing this shift to becoming fully connected customers, which is something we'll go on to talk about a bit more later. So over the past few years, we've seen mobile shape many of our interactions. Whereas we used to call the dentist to make an appointment, we can simply book one on the go through our mobiles. We don't have to send checks in the post, we can use mobile banking to send money. We don't have to text our friends explaining where we are, we can simply Snapchat them a photo. We're pretty reliant on having our mobile phone accessible to complete a number of day-to-day tasks, many of which weren't possible before the smartphone. And I think a big part of our reliance on mobile today rests on the use of mobile apps. So when we talk about communicating with our friends, sending money or booking appointments, all of these are done through apps. In fact, many services we use today only exist because of apps. Think about Uber, Deliveroo, Shazam, Airbnb. None of these existed before the smartphone. And since the App Store launched in 2008, mobile apps have been creating a number of immersive mobile experiences for us and our consumers, and continually intertwining into our daily lives by supporting our day-to-day tasks. They really do help us manage our life and make completing our to-dos easier than ever before. And for marketers in particular, mobile and mobile apps as a whole have created huge opportunities for business growth and awareness, providing us with the largest consumer audience we've ever had. Apps have presented us and many other businesses with the opportunity to engage with consumers in creatively dynamic and innovative ways that extend interactions far beyond traditional mediums. Retailers don't have to wait until a customer walks into their store to engage with them today. Nor do hotels have to wait and hope that a customer books them through a travel agent. And we don't even have to drive to the shop to rent a DVD anymore. We can go directly to brands, and brands can communicate directly with us all through the small device we call a mobile phone. And consumers themselves, and we as well, have been a huge driver for these changes. And over the years, we've seen a huge shift in our expectations. So think back a few years when apps were new and exciting, and back then having an app was a differentiator. It helped brands to stand out against their competitors. So let's take a look at the Met Office, for example. It launched its first app back in 2010, giving us very basic updates about the weather for the day, allowing us to check the weather whenever we wanted, wherever we were. Move on a few years, and brands were expected to have an app and to be accessible through mobile. It was commonplace. So existing apps needed to up their game. The Met Office has made use of bigger screen sizes, including more weather info, such as wind strength, times of sunset and sunrise, and even included visuals to make the app more interesting. This is already a perfect example of the shift between simply having an app and starting to make it a good app. However, today, as apps reach saturation point, things start to change again. And the most recent update of the Met Office app shows a very different view, providing us with even more information quickly and providing quick links to additional content. It's much brighter, making it easier to view important details, and is fully customizable depending on what the user wants, whether they want to see day-to-day weather or hour-by-hour weather. A stark contrast to its first app 7 years ago. Users used to be more understanding if certain features weren't part of your mobile app, but now they expect them to do whatever they want, whenever they want it, wherever they want to do it. A well-designed functional app simply isn't enough today. And with terms such as app overload and app fatigue over the press, users feel there are too many apps that don't bring enough value. In fact, all the latest updates to the Met Office app were made following user feedback. They designed the new app around what the user wants to achieve when they first opened it. So in their own words, having listened to feedback for this app, we have improved the visibility of weather information so that it's easier to see how the weather will affect your day. We've also added the ability to share the forecast with friends and family directly from the app. So they've really understood what their customers want and when they want it, understanding that what's most important to them is sharing it with the people they're going to be seeing that day and understanding exactly how their day will be affected. And this is where companies need to follow suit. So by reacting to users' needs, you can continue gauging your audience with the content that they want when they want it. And this value is really important to create. So if you're creating true value to your audience, your app will remain on their mobile. Unlike a few years ago, we're much fussier over which apps take up the prime space on our phones. So it's really important to understand what they want and ensure your app brings them value. So I guess the big question is, how can you ensure your app stays on your users' phones? So as the marketplace gets more competitive, businesses need to change their app offering. So how can you differentiate yourself over your competitors and deliver that unique and seamless experience through mobile? Many organisations still fail to understand the purpose of apps in the beginning, or understand the psychology behind what makes an app engaging in the first place. So let's go through this quickly. It may sound simple, but you can't simply replicate your website within a mobile app. It's a completely different platform. And the way in which we interact with apps is very different to other digital media. We use touch gestures to navigate through an app. The mobile screen is much smaller than that of a laptop or desktop. And we use apps as an efficient way to complete a task on the go. And as mentioned earlier, apps have made many aspects of our day-to-day easier. So with this in mind, although it varies significantly between industries and different sectors, apps need to be designed with the user in mind and provide them with significant value and benefit over any other platform. Think about how an app can help your user in a way that your website can't. The most successful apps are those which are user-focused and task-orientated, helping us achieve things quickly and efficiently. Apps also need to be intuitive. For instance, we have a team of dedicated mobile-first designers who design apps that use natural mobile actions and gestures. I mentioned a second ago that we use touch gestures to navigate through our phone, and these extend from swiping, tapping, pinching, to double finger moving, long hold, and dragging gestures, all of which create a more immersive and interactive experience, something that we can't offer users through desktop or laptops. So that's what an app should look like today. What about tomorrow? We mentioned that customer expectations are continually evolving, and therefore we need to be prepared with what's coming. Because keeping up with the current changes in user behaviour is just the beginning. What lies ahead isn't just a more intuitive mobile experience, because that will, like all the stages before, become a commodity. Tomorrow's customer will want even more diverse and seamless experiences. Expectations are in real-time, intuitive and intelligent interactions. They want more every day. So if we go back to our Met Office example, how could this app continue to evolve? Maybe it will read out your local weather forecast when you turn your alarm off, or maybe it will predict where you're heading that day based on historical data and give you a detailed weather report for that area. And this sort of thing is where we start talking about the post-up era. So an era where apps become increasingly crucial to the customer experience. But when we mention the post-app era, we're not talking about the death of apps, we're recognising the changes in app interactions. For example, the Met Office app, we're understanding that people don't necessarily want to pick up their phone and click into the app every time. They just want to know the weather when they need it. So traditionally, we would need to open an app up to use it, and it would need to remain open. However, today we're beginning to interact with apps in new ways. So in the past year, we've seen a huge surge in the use of chatbots. We've seen a number of apps integrate with each other, for example, requesting an Uber through Maps or adding diary invites from emails. And we're also starting to use our voices to interact with our phones, asking Siri what the weather's going to be like, or asking Alexa to add something to our basket. So whilst we may not be engaging with apps the same way we did a few years ago, we're not physically opening them every time. They still remain at the core of our interactions. In fact, Gartner predict that by 2020, which realistically isn't that far away, that 40% of our interactions with our mobiles will be facilitated with smart agents. And this enforces the idea that apps are no longer a destination, but they're becoming a facilitator to do more. Think of Nest. You can control the temperature of your home through your phone. You can use Uber to get you from A to B wherever you are. And what's important here is to ensure that you're not only reaching your customers where they are on their mobiles when they're ready for you, but also in the moments that matter to them, so quickly and seamlessly when they need something. It's this new seamless experience between our physical and virtual lives which makes mobile so important going forward. And I guess that brings us on to look a bit more at the customer journey. So we already know that today's connected customer is mobile first. In fact, we're all comfortable with using our mobile phones for everyday tasks and more. In recent research, it's also shown that users up to the age of 54 now prefer using mobile over tablets, laptops, and desktops to use the internet. It's ingraining itself into our daily lives more and more. And the customer journey we know today is very different to what how we knew it a few years ago. Like many other things, it's evolved over time to adapt to new customers' interactions. The evolution of digital has expanded the journey quite considerably, and now many of these touch points are not only accessible through mobile, but some mobile only, whether that's an app, social media, or location-based notifications. And improving a customer's experience starts with reviewing how we engage with our customers throughout their journey. So how do we engage with them both digitally and physically? And how do we adapt our marketing strategy to continue engaging with them? So when we step back and look at customer experience as a whole, we define it as a sum of all customer engagements in each touch point and in each moment of truth throughout a customer lifecycle. As mentioned today, the customer journey is a patchwork of traditional and digital touch points. However, when consumers jump between channels and devices, it can easily lead to an inconsistent customer experience. And the biggest cause of this is that not all the touch points are mobile optimized today. So as marketers, we need to utilize the devices our customers are using, and that means designing mobile first and mobile only customer journeys to prevent both drop-offs and disengagement. Customer experience needs to be seamless regardless of point of entry. So let's think about how we can create a seamless experience for a customer who opens their mobile whilst in a physical retail store. How can we ensure they don't disengage with that brand and engage with one of our competitors instead? What can you offer them as they walk into the store to engage them further? And this is why it's becoming increasingly important to give the right information at the right time to the right person, such as when they enter a store or when they reach a specific point in their journey. And mobiles allow us to do this. Every engagement we have with users through mobile helps us to learn more about their preferences and needs. So we can begin to send push notifications dependent on the user's location, or a promotional offer on their favourite brand when they're looking to buy something. The more we learn about our users, the better we understand them, the better experience we can offer. And this is where we can begin to reimagine the mobile experience to align with their expectations and tailor them to their individual journeys. Both existing and emerging technology supports these new interactions. The possibilities for the next generation of apps are huge, and with the power of technology such as artificial intelligence, brands can engage users even further by making smart decisions based on the customer data or even predict the customer's next move. All of our marketing towards the user can be smart and intelligent and be tailored exactly to how they want it. For example, we can analyse patterns in purchases or have personalised chats with bots. And this is just the start of things. We've got many other pieces of technology, such as facial recognition, beacons, voice commands. We can all use these to tailor the customer experience. In fact, technology allows us to extend the customer journey seamlessly throughout all the different touch points. However, it's important to remember that technology is an enabler, not the solution, and that mobile is the facilitator for engagement. So all of these new interactions we talk about, such as digital changing rooms and cashless shopping, still require use of a mobile device. So how can brands, advertisers and yourselves embrace the mobile-first post-up world of tomorrow? Well, firstly, the big shift that needs to happen is that mobile should be treated as the default view for everything digital, whether that's through an app, a chatbot, social media, or a mobile-optimized experience. Brands that don't adopt the mobile-first or mobile-only mindset are at risk now more than ever to rapidly keep up with changing consumer needs and demands. To win among mobile-first and digital-first customers, organisations must focus on learning more about customer frustrations, their expectations, and their behaviours that are specific to mobile. Mobile is quite quickly moving to the heart of the customer lifecycle. An example of a brand that shifted their approach to embracing mobile comes from ASOS, who recently released this statement. They clearly recognise the importance of mobile in their consumer's life and are making it a #1 priority for all activity and strategy moving forward. They understand exactly what their users want to achieve on a day-to-day by using their mobile app. And whilst new customer acquisition via mobile is still uncommon, this ability to upsell and cross-sell to all the existing customer base is a reality. Additionally, and most importantly, mobile also gives us the ability to retain those customers through continued engagement. It's this empathising with customers and understanding the role mobile plays in their lives, in the context of each moment, that helps us to develop these unforgettable experiences and ultimately gain their loyalty going forward. So what should you be doing? Obviously, every business is different, but here's a good guide to get started. You should map your customer journey, study it as it exists today, pinpoint where mobile interactions take place, and understand what challenges may arise. Look at where opportunities lie to connect touch points and carry them through the mobile device. Delve into the data that's specific to your mobile customers and try and define a day-in-the-life mobile persona. This will help you inform your customer-centric strategies that will help you going forward. And using your customer journey, begin to integrate additional mobile touchpoints throughout, reimagining the mobile experience as a whole. Understand where you can prevent multi-screening, whilst also complementing other channels. Define a series of intended mobile experiences at each stage of the customer journey and see how they fit together. And put the user first. Think about what they need to achieve and how can you help them in that task through mobile. And finally, be agile to new technology. As mentioned, using some of the latest technology helps us to improve the customer experience significantly. So think about what technology could benefit your customers. Remember that not all technology works for everyone, so be strategic in choosing something that will bring value. To summarise, mobile and the next generation of mobile apps represents one of the greatest opportunities for customer experience innovation. In the future, mobile apps will become the standard for hosting the customer journey, with mobile apps orchestrating a myriad of intelligent interactions. So it's important to take a look at how things are changing now and plan for the future. So thank you for joining me today. Please get in touch if you have any specific questions. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you again at one of our future webinars. Thank you.